We are going live once again. It is Tuesday, Tune In Tuesday, May the 12th, 2026. I am your somewhat semi-politically savvy host, Abby Kaufman, and we are here to take your calls and to just chat about Democratic politics in general. And if you have anything you want to call in about, the number is 629 3820. Feel free to call anytime. The earlier the better. Lines get kind of booked towards the end. But anyway, I wanted to come on board and say hello this morning. And you know what else? I thought I would play us in with. Hide your love, hide your love. No, we are so far apart. You gotta hide your love. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a little Elvis Costello, a radio sweetheart. I call this the Democracy Internet. Sorry, uh, what? Geez, democracyradionetwork.com. God, I don't know why I was just drawing blank. Anyway, democracyradionetwork.com. Give us a call, 949 629 3820. And not only that, but if you're up to it and you go to democracyradionetwork.com, you will see at the top a little PayPal button, a donate button, and I do not want you to hit it. Please do not hit it. Okay? What I want you to do is smash the living daylights out of it and make a donation so Ab can get his car worked on. And if you keep scrolling down, you'll see a live stream YouTube link where we stream live and you're free to watch and listen, or you can just wake the kids and phone the neighbors and give them the chance. And now, as it's Tuesday, May 12th, and what I want to kind of lead off with today, actually, you know what? We actually let's play in with a little Ada Versenio just to make the point. Hold on.
So I got this in my mailbox yesterday and I thought, that's interesting. I don't remember ever sitting on a gold couch wearing a shiny gold jacket. And then I realized that they photoshopped me. This picture, and honestly, it's very flattering that they would Photoshop me hanging out in such a cool, trendy place. And who are the masterminds who came up with this message? Well, I have an answer. According to the documents that came out yesterday, it's the pollsters for the NRA, the Republican National Committee, and Devin Nunes. And that is the best they can do. Unfortunately, you're going to be seeing much more of this. Donald Trump's closest allies, corporations that have given him more than 20 million, are part of a group that has already committed to spending $3 million to defeat me, because they're afraid of a union leader and a proud immigrant who will take them on and win. Many of these same corporations are attacking me, are profiting millions of dollars off of ICE contracts. So you're probably going to see me photoshopped into a whole lot of other things this election cycle. I hope they Photoshop me somewhere fun. But please remember, these are all lies, and they are funded by Donald Trump's allies.
All right, guys. Thanks to Ada. I always try to play her piece. Ada's a very meaningful person in Orange County Democratic politics. Ada's really well connected. God knows she's bright. She's hardworking. She's motivated. And she's the American success story. How anybody can say anything bad about her, I'll never know. A refugee from Nicaragua with her parents, hotel job, forms the union, eventually as president of the union. and then she went on to become the chair of the Democratic Party of Orange County. Uh, please tell me what in there is to not be admired. I mean, to my way of thinking, that's that's the American dream. Or does it only count, for white people? I mean, I've never thought skin pigment was anything other than skin pigment, and the notion that skin pigment equates with intelligence is just highly, highly, highly offensive and insulting. So we'll kind of leave that alone for just a second. But what I want to know, and you're free to call me at 949-629-3820 to let me hear your opinion. But do you get the opinion it's starting to creep into Trump's brain that he just might have started something way beyond his control and it's not going to end well? Okay. Does anybody have any thoughts on that? He doesn't have any good news in Iran. And the Iranian response to Trump's negotiating style was just the best. If well, we want total control of the Strait of Hormuz. We want you to pay reparations for damages, and it just went on from there. And I'm sure Trump's going like, what? I mean, a one-page document is not that much different than something drawn on a cocktail napkin. And that's like not the best place to make legal notes. I mean, if that's all you have, I get it. But anyway, I just wanted to ask you guys that because it just, like I say, it just stuns me. I say, what are we gonna do? Pull out and leave the damage behind? Well, I'm sure that would be Trump's first favorite, our first option. But geez, that leaves Iran in control of the Strait of Hormuz. It's just no matter what Trump does, no matter which way he moves, the Iranians have him in checkmate. He might move one to the right, he might move one to the left, but he ain't escaping. And if you play chess, some man move forward, backwards, and some move laterally. And sometimes all you have to do is get like one space away. Overall, though, I've got to tell you that just, the whole Iranian war, conflict, whatever you want to call it. And what makes it worse is, you remember Ada just a few seconds ago, and she mentioned how the video painting her as a philanderer on the public dime. Again, it comes back to credibilities and lies. Now, after she said who put that ad up, Trump allies, Devin Nunes, and all that. Lying is just their brand. It's what they do. It's what they sell. That's why Trump was so successful. He sold. What did he sell? He sold the big lie. He sold the notion that somehow or other the ballot counting wasn't reflective of reality. The truth of the matter is, the only thing that doesn't reflect reality is Trump. I mean, every way he moves, he's cornered by the Iranians. And see how he's on his way to visit President Xi in China. How do you think Xi's feeling about now? You think he's feeling pretty good? Like locked and loaded for bail, or he's just waiting for some innocent victim to come by and fleece like Donald Trump? No matter how you paint it, it's bad. And it didn't have to be that way. And I'm going to transition to the Financial Times in a few minutes. But one thing I wanted to kind of drive home to you guys is that at least in England, it is referred to as Trump's war. It refers to the American taxpayers, have to pay. But they make it really clear whose war this is. And by analyzing and assigning responsibility for the war, you assign responsibility for all the things that flow from the war. I mean, how Middle Eastern countries keep rebuilding after massive attacks, I just don't know. But what I do know is that it's always important to look at people's backgrounds, because it's always helpful to know who's telling the truth and who's bullskating. And we're not exactly into bullskating too much, if you know what I mean. Um, Politicians get accused of that a lot. I don't think it's necessarily true on the Democrat side. I'm pretty sure with the party like Virtue and things like, oh, I don't know, maybe you would clothe the naked, maybe you would like heal the sick, maybe, I don't want to go out on a limb, but maybe you could treat your brother like yourself. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that's kind of like Christianity in a nutshell. So it is completely beyond me how they keep getting away with this. I think that I think the I think the dawn is starting to come, and it's starting to dawn. I guarantee you in the South that we don't have to have stupid representatives anymore, stupid senators. You know, it's no more good old boy system. It's over. No more good old boy system. No more backroom deals. No more handshakes. No more gerrymandered districts. Oh, wait a minute. Am I wrong? Did I just get all that wrong about the Louisiana decision? Yeah. You guys were told it was going to eliminate black districts. They clearly deserve equal representation, equal protection. But why did you let those guys go? Why did you sell the black people down the river? Huh? Inquiring minds want to know here. So if you got a thought on the matter, give us a call, 949-629-3820. And let's start double checking the stuff, because between now, actually now till June shouldn't be too bad. But once the primary is over, you can expect those political ads to start coming hot and heavy. And don't forget, God only knows what Trump is running for. We kind of know what he's running from. But with his kids' goals of being the wealthiest family in the world by the time Trump leaves office, how do you think they're going to do that? Do you think they can do it with a little inside knowledge? Do you think they're going to do it by eavesdropping? Do you think they can do it just by outright stealing? All ABC, all the above. Nothing is off limits to those guys, because the most dangerous place in D.C. is between Donald Trump and a dollar. Okay? I mean, make no mistakes about it. Which is wild, because he's got quite a few bucks. But some people use their money to do good and start foundations and make donations to cancer research, or Parkinson's, also whatever it is. But I don't think that's much of the case here. I think these guys are just going after Ada because she's been targeted. Clearly doesn't deserve to be. Clearly a model immigrant story, refugee story. And I still cannot tell you why this cuts the Republicans so deeply. Why they absolutely hate the story. I mean, I know they'd like to co-opt the flag as their own personal little liberty test. But, the last time I heard, it was like the same flag, no matter what time you see it. And veterans are a little different. We know some that just came back just outright retarded and homeless. And we know others that came back and went on to achieve, billionaire status. But, the more money it takes to do something, the fewer the people are able to do it. And that's why these rising prices are a problem, because they stifle growth and innovation. I mean, I'm looking at a business loan to improve to 24/7 programming, and you know, sorry guys, and there's just so much to be done with that stuff. I can only hope that George Conway is hanging out somewhere. Oh, I don't know, maybe like the Oyster Bar in New York City. Uh, but in this whole peeing on everything and leaving his mark, as repulsive as that is, let me kind of refresh your memory here. Trump claims the reflecting pool by the Lincoln Memorial was dirty and got it dirty and all that, and he wanted to clean it up. Okay, so he wants to paint the reflecting pond blue. The guy says okay. So he says it'll cost you 1.8 million. And the guy says, whatever you pay me, I'm happy to do it. And then out of the clear blue sky, there was a memo drafted between the Worthington townspeople and the dealership. And where were we going with that? Oh, well, we'll have to see. We come back to it. But anyway, what I want to kind of point out to you today is I want to concentrate on the Financial Times briefly, if anything is really brief. And I'm going to tell you, and let me tell you the headline. Fuel reserves near critically low level, says Saudi Aramco. That this is a new kind of wake up call, a new alarm. We lose 100 million barrels of oil a day that don't make it to the market. Okay? That don't make it to the market. In total, we, the world, whatever, have lost out on 1 billion barrels of oil. Now, I don't exactly know how much 1 billion barrels of oil is, but it seems to me like it's a pretty good bit of oil. And, like I said, once, the crops are expensive, he's got to have the equipment. And it really is a humiliation of farmers. And, the most insulting part, as Trump promises to help veterans and the, people living in the countryside and all that. And they're the first ones Elon Musk targeted. I mean, between the plastic cup holder and the fake guitar thing, we just need to move on. And if we move on, I don't think we can move on without a lock him up party. Call it what you will. I'll wear whatever I'm supposed to. But this whole, peeing on everything to mark his territory is just, it's the height of insecurity. And number two, it looks bad. And it's just, there's no winners in this deal. Absolutely none. I don't think that the MAGA people are calling for it. They might be calling for, I don't know, tax returns. They might be calling for, I don't know, records of some sort. And, they have proven themselves to be untrustworthy. And you can either take Watergate as a high point or a low point. But we got to get past this, guys. I mean, the corruption that has come from the big lie. And actually, the truth of the matter is the big lie facilitated everything that came in this term. And how many of you, I'm not even going to ask whether, I'm going to ask how many of you guys actually watched the J6 committee hearing when it was on? Not a whole lot of people. Do you have an opinion on it? God damn it. Yeah, I guess everybody's got an opinion on it. So, that's the moral of the story. Have the sandwich the way you like it. Don't let anybody put anything in there you don't want. And let's kind of move on. But back to this fuel shortage. Now, I would.
So I got this in my mailbox yesterday and I thought, that's interesting.
Sorry about that. And geez, I was kind of scared me to death. Um, so yeah, we've lost out on 1 billion barrels of oil. And what does that mean? That means the oil that's coming out now is more expensive. And guess who gets to pay for the more expensive stuff? And let's keep in mind, things weren't things were awkward before Iran, but they are just downright insufferable now. And my gasoline bill has been like in the $130 a month. And that means I spend almost $600 a month on gasoline. And I don't go anywhere. Um, every time I go out to eat, it's a little more expensive. And which is why, or another reason for me to think that Trump just may be getting the idea that he has set something horrible in motion and something he can't put back in the tube. You think about toothpaste, easier to keep it in the tube than put it back in. Well, he's trying to put back in the toothpaste to the container. And I don't know how it works, but I don't think it works like he thinks it works. Uh, I was kind of hoping that it'd be like a few days without any lunatics, but God, how do you have MAGA without a lunatic, huh? I guess that's a little food for thought. Mm. And you know what else I want to mention? Is Assembly District 67 and 68. 67 is means a lot to me because that's Ada's race. And I just think she's far and away the best candidate, and she just deserves the job. But I've also come to meet a few. I'm gonna say next door, but kind of next door in District 68 is Jesse Lopez. And I'm gonna tell you, if you had to elect someone based upon solely on their heart being in the right place, she'd be tough to beat. And when you come across people that tell the truth, don't you automatically hold them in higher esteem than those who lie? And if you call them out on it, maybe get pissed, maybe wouldn't. But if you would call him out on it, then just maybe he'll be embarrassed. Sorry, folks, that's just wishful thinking. I don't know where I was thinking. And let's see let's keep going through the old. But anyway, let me go back to the reflecting pond for a second. So it starts out as like $1.8 million. Fine, here's 1.8 mil. And then don't you know that somehow or other the guy that gets the original contract for the 1.8 mil all of a sudden is now working under a no bid emergency contract for $8 billion. So Trump went from 1 to 8 billion to 8 from owing owing the parking fees. And everybody knows in California that's always really touchy. So the moral of the story is let's look out for some of the voters here. And I say voter, that's BOATER, not VOTER. You have a long time to work with the voters, but some things are vitally important. So anyway, Jesse Lopez, 68. I think if it was purely a good-hearted thing, just because she's so much younger, you would think that she would deserve it. But it's so hard to say who deserves things and who doesn't. So anyway, with that in mind, I'm gonna have to think of a playlist today for you guys. I'm a little little sneezy and runny nose here, so we have to go get some old decongestants in a minute. Because if we don't, I will be wiping my nose and my sleeve, and I hate doing that. Let's see here. Oh, now this is the quote I want you to pay attention to. The cost of Donald Trump's Iran war is ripping across the United States economy, causing hundreds of billions of dollars of lost productivity. Was it by fuel prices, or the borrowing costs and interest rates, whatever it is? Uh, you know, we're paying more. Okay, we're paying more. And why are we paying more? Because Trump's an idiot. And I want to take just a second on the Trump's an idiot deal, and I'll get to this in a little bit. But I think it was in the Financial Times. One of the editorials was Trump arrives in China without his something superpower, and you know what that was? His superpower: hitting on young girls. I mean, he just it's perfectly consistent. People always bailed him out. So what's one more time? And Todd Blanche doesn't seem to, I mean, he got his clock clean so many times defending or prosecuting Trump's cases that, I don't think he knows the difference between legally relevant and legally irrelevant. Clearly he should. And guys, we're going to have to be right back here. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. We are officially back. And we'll put the old short headphones back on. And then let's kind of get back to work here. Take a few decongestants for post nasal drip. Just doesn't help my tummy any. So let's do this. Yeah, I just couldn't help but think that Trump should be starting to realize that he ain't got a whole lot of good options, and he's gonna have to pick the best worst option or the least worst option. So, but this could be one of those things that really does nail Trump, because he can't. I mean, it's just out there and everybody sees it. He can, let's say he says, "Oh, we won this big time." Who would believe him, right? And I hate to keep coming back to credibility, but when you have two people telling a story or giving their version of events, you can pretty well rest assured that the recollections won't be identical. Okay, some people have a little more motivated to remember than others. But anyways, so Trump's in China, and he usually or was used to getting what he wanted by using his superpower. And what was that superpower? It was well, how can I put this? A douchebag attempt at military planning. And I mean, these guys just can't do it. Oh, and that kind of leads into a larger point, and that the world is growing increasingly asymmetrical. I mean, think about what Ukraine has been able to do with drones against Russia. It's undeniable what the Ukrainians have done. The part that makes me feel really bad is to watch Zelensky offer help to the states, and after the abominable way that Trump and Vance went after what's his name from Ukraine, Zelensky, and it's just indicative and reflective of the whole attitude. And I want to submit that if somebody rubs you wrong for whatever reason, they're probably going to keep doing it. It may be by accident, it may not be, but people tend not to change behaviors. And I've kind of never understood that, because I always thought the more different experiences you had, the better off you are. But life didn't prove out that way, ladies and gentlemen. So let's kind of keep on cruising down here. Yep, Americans face a $25 billion cost, and that doesn't count high fuel prices and cost of borrowing and supply chains. Things were just really tenuous before. And what did Trump do? He said, blow it up. Guys, I just, if it wasn't for you at home or in the car or wherever you are listening to me, it would be really hard to accept this as an American, as a daily way of life for Americans. I mean, who's really used to having the criminals run the sheriff's office? Nobody. I mean, you can only hope and speculate that at some point in time something will happen. Hang on, I'm going to plug back in. Wouldn't it be nice, ladies and gentlemen? Think about this. Wouldn't it be cool to go completely wireless? Wouldn't it be nice not to have to, have a cable to wire my microphone to my interface, or a cable to make the interface go through my laptop? Just little things I think would probably go make life a little easier. But I digress. It's Tuesday, May 12th, and things aren't looking good overseas. Let's see here. Oh, how about this? U.S. wildfires surge to a decade high after the drought fuels a risk. Now, didn't one the notion to kind of undo FEMA and let the states handle each emergency, which is a nice way to say let the residents pay for it, not realizing that some of these things are just completely disproportionate. And now I want to kind of digress for a second to bring up a kind of a homeless problem. And if you have a homeless thought or theory, give us a call 949-629-3820. We surely like to hear what you have to say. So anyway, well, you know what? This we won't tell tales out of school. Maybe just be better to enjoy a night of passion and not say a word. So we'll try that. If that doesn't go well, all bets are off. But let's see if we can actually do this by being a nice guy. Uh, okay, now you know what Trump just might want from Xi is he's going to want Xi to not send as much help to Iran since they're already kicking his ass. And we'll all do that stuff. We'll all sign. We'll do whatever. It's getting early, but eventually the truth hits everybody. And I think that employees are as much responsible for calling people out as store owners. For instance, was it get a sandwich today at Sprouts, went to go pay for it, and I'm in the express lane, and this woman is like two people ahead of me with a completely full cart. And I'm like, I hope it didn't hold you up or anything, but it was the self-entitled Newport Beach problem that's completely disproportionate to the population. But welcome to Newport. Okay, and do you have anything to say? Give us a call 949-629-3820. But yeah, the gist are the cost of Donald Trump's Iran war. I can see that as a headline now. How about this? So, like I said, Trump was trying to get Xi to limit his support for Iran, but that's just, China doesn't have to do that. China is much better off making their own weapons and hanging back. They are. And then to go let that bomb in here is just awfully creepy, especially when, so back to the homeless thing. So the only problems I've had have been with homeless people, and they've been two in a row right at Starbucks. And the first one was when people were coming in, kind of smelly and stinky and not changing. It was just gross. In addition to leaving the shower's just completely gross. I have no idea how you clean a shower and then leave hair in the corner. I kind of like to know how it works. And then again, on the other hand, I realize I may be happier not knowing, But yeah, it's funny. Fritz Holling's dad, the old senator from South Carolina, had a little beer hall, beer factory. And, all the lawyers would go there like on Saturday morning, just kind of, shoot the breeze and all. This was years and years ago. And so you just kind of shoot the breeze. And Next thing you know, one of them gets this guitar cable. Like here, this might help you play better. So he was okay working with the local groups just to try and improve things a little bit. I was playing with some guys not long ago from the senior center, but I had to quit to come here for you. No sacrifice is too big for you. You guys just you make everything all right for me. So thank you, Democratic Party. Ah, we do love you, and we do want to try to get every Democrat elected that we can. So give us a call 949-629-3820 and let us know what's going on. And in the meantime, we'll kind of keep perusing some of the Financial Times headlines. Okay. Oh, no, how about this? I don't know exactly how this is working, but some foreign airlines or how airlines based in Europe are lowering their fares for the summer. Now, this is even though they're taking the shorts now, they're assuming that it will be more manageable in 2 months. I'm always a little skeptical of that, but then again, I would be. And so, does anybody get any favorite politicians, Democratic politicians they want me to plug? It's almost all Democrat, almost all the time here on the Democracy Radio Network's Abby Kaufman Show. Oh, 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 oh. I hope someone didn't hear that. They might confuse the nature of my podcast with the nature of somebody else's podcast. Hey, I haven't checked, but I wonder if old Stormy has a podcast. Oh, that woman is too much. Uh, yeah, it's Trump just when you lied to that degree, you just need to go. We've got to have some basic expectation of truthfulness, and if we don't have it, you guys ain't got it. Nobody's got it. So let's see what we can do about getting getting everything and everybody back together, and let's get this show functioning. And I said the general election will be June 2nd, and after that, hold on for 2028, because that is going to really tell the tale. I mean, I wouldn't surprise if they had people shot at parties or polling places. I mean, do any of you guys actually doubt the amount of cheating Trump would have to go through to win at anything? I didn't think so. He does what he has to do. Excuse me. To claim victory, to claim ownership, despite not changing anything. At that point, you just are pure egotistical creation. And if you are a pure egotistical creation, then I don't think we need you at fill in the blank. Okay, so you do get it. I do think we need to kind of pay a little less attention to him and more attention on his usage. I don't. Mo Kelly's obviously really good at what he does. And I sure hope I get a chance to talk to him about some advice for a growing media company like the domesticradionetwork.com. So anyway, just thought I'd throw that in and maybe try to do it a little bit louder. But you know what? Let's hit a little more Elvis. How about that? You lay your head on any other shoulder. Uh, for a good time. No, we're having fun. So we keep on singing, play one more for radio sweetheart. hide your love, hide your love. We are so far apart. You got to hide your love. That's the whole we started. I wish we had never parted. Play one more for my radio sweetheart. Play one more for my radio sweetheart. Play one more for my radio sweetheart. Play one for my radio sweetheart. Play one more for my radio sweetheart. How about that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Uh, what can you say? Elvis Costello, radio sweetheart. Ah, good deal. So let's So, guys, how exactly are we going to pay for all this stuff? Taxes? What are we going to do about the news? Do you realize I don't think it's possible to get news for free anymore? I think just whatever makes you pay. And when I should pay, I mean like, over $1. So I don't know how they work it out. Hopefully they do. And maybe some really smart guy or smart woman will figure out how we can do that here. Because we really need to establish some sort of more robust medical outlet for these guys. I mean, if your eyes show up and look to Starbucks and they come by me, it's no big deal. When when the homeless people show up at Starbucks, it is a problem. And I'm going to tell you the two times I've had difficulties with people, it has been two people at Starbucks. One guy was saying my lights were too bright, and I'm like, no, they're on dim. Don't you're wrong. Then I had another guy tell me, oh, your car doesn't have Brazilian rosewood. I'm like, the hell it doesn't. I mean, I know these things. So anyway, you get more and more antagonistic people who will take a contrary point of view for absolutely no reason or no productive reason. So that's kind of why I think we need to do a little something with that. Let's see what else we got going on. Yeah, oh, and how about this? Europe's old major producers reap up to $475 billion down the old tubes. And if you were worth 10 billion, it might not be a big deal, but I'm not. Let's see. Well, how about that pension woman in Iowa? She, anyway, they have a little discrepancy in their pension department. But anyway, in the state of Iowa, there are 200,000 more registered Republicans than there are Democrats. Think about that. 200,000 people more. So you would think you would know who is favored for the governor's race. Would it be the Republican, what's his name? Or would it be somebody we both know and love? So if you don't mind taking the card back to the table and writing a question you want me to ask, or what if there's something you don't want me to do, tell me that too. And let's get everybody settled and enjoy what's left. You were always a good guy to me and to everybody else, so I'm going to assume you haven't changed too much. Other than, if you did change, you probably got to be a better surfer if that's possible. But much like when I asked the girl if the tuna salad was better than the egg salad, and she said, "I ain't know." And I'm like, "If you ain't know, I ain't want any." So I'm not sure she got the message, but she didn't. She took the food away. It didn't bother me. So I can afford to be optimistic in that regard. And so what else is going on here, guys? I just don't think it's going to be a whole lot of the old poopy doo. going around. I'm pretty sure everybody that they kind of like that stuff doesn't like it anymore, which is kind of wild. I mean, that's I think I'm starting to understand a little bit about what it kind of takes to do that line of work, and clearly I'm not experienced enough to tell you, so I won't. But I do think it's like a really sound idea to get kids sailing, and that way when they're in their teens and not so worrying about them all the time, you challenge them to a sailboat race. You know, let them beat the old man every now and then. Don't let up. Oh gosh, how did that happen? Did we do that? Did I just space out for a second? Sorry about that, guys. That's Tuesday. Apparently, I'm not as sharp as I should be. So I'm going to ask you guys for a little forgiveness as we work our way into the 1 o'clock hour. Give us a call 949-629-3820 and share those thoughts and opinions. Or if you want, you can just vent, just let it all out. Or if you don't have anything to complain about or post about or anything else, I can suggest maybe a little popularity for the old Democracy Radio Network might be appropriate. Yes. Thanks, guys. I need to see it. So anyway, where was I? I was probably somewhere back in the check the StreamYard thing and all that, and I haven't gotten any new emails. So I'm going to assume that there just ain't a whole lot else to be done here, which is kind of a bummer because the sun's starting to come out. I'm still a little awkward with my post nasal drip. I hate the post nasal drip. So anyway, let's wonder how we can. Uh, let's see what else is there. Oh, you know what? Just because I was a political science major, I think we might be able to give Joe some of that those kind of life support things. All right, guys, how about would you appreciate if we heard a little something from Squeeze? The shins. Sunlight on the lino, opening with a shade. When she's gone. Goodbye, girl. Goodbye, girl. Goodbye, girl. In a hotel, a room on the second floor. My numbers on the door. I hardly know you. Now I'm way too tired. The sunlight on the lino with a shade. Goodbye, girl. Goodbye, girl. Goodbye, girl. It doesn't bother me. Sunlight on the lino. Wake me of the shade. She's gone. Goodbye, girl. Goodbye, girl. Guys, I think we've kind of get that. Let's see if we can't do any better. Going with old Randy Newman. How about Randy Newman? Know why we may not be perfect. Heaven knows we try. Right, and all friends put us down. Let's drop the big one and see what happens. They're money, but are they grateful? No, they're spiteful and they're hateful. So let's surprise them. Let's drop the big one and surprise them. Not in there. Oh, yeah, because it's too hot and too cold. South America stole our name. But while there'll be no one flying in Australia, don't want to hurt no kangaroo. No nary amusement park. They got surfing too. Those London, boom, Paris. More room for you and more room for me. And all around will just be another American town. It could be very true. Somebody's mother title is for me. Anyhow, so let's drop the big one now. Let's drop the big one now. All right, guys. So what do you think? Is it time we drop the big one? Uh, you got to make you wonder. And that's always just like an innocent sounding song, but yeah. And then when, oh, you know what? We need to check on old Annie too. Let's see what is going on with Annie. How about if we called it Annie, Get Your Gun? How about that? Well, we'll play us kind of in and out with that. for her medical. She passed, it's a miracle. Moon, oh, the moon wants drinks for everyone. What she's saying, Annie, get your gun. What she's saying, Annie, that she be tough. She's gonna land trick, Annie. Why that's fine. I respect it. Pull that trigger, Annie. Get your gun. Don't shoot that singer. And number one, number one, she done. And screw the other one. And to be sure, she's gonna let trick Annie. Well, that's fine. Push him for that trigger, Annie. Let your gun. The love song number one. And ladies and gentlemen, how about that little squeeze, huh? Annie, get your gun. I think that might be a good idea, old girl. If if Nick tells you to grab your gun, you probably ought to grab your gun. Just saying here. Starting all over again. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Actually, closed the wrong window. You know, this kind of thing happens in the world of sports. And oh, by the way, how about those LA Lakers getting wiped out in Oklahoma City? You know, I can. I've driven through that place a few times, and it never seems like a good place. I have no idea what the deal is, but yeah, if it were me, I'd try to find someplace a little more soulful, a little more uncrowded. And how about this? Iowa's pension chief resigned. And why did the pension chief resign? Well, apparently she made the books look a little better than they were. And I guess she might have had to do that because there's some embezzlement issues going on. And with that in mind, it kind of points out that to hire a basic, decent, honest person, it is easy as it used to be, and there's a multitude of reasons. I won't go into it, But I will say that it's funny in that the two times I've been, uh, I don't know what the word is, abused in Starbucks, they were both homeless people. The first time was a year or so ago, and it's that guy that sits on the far end at Starbucks. And what had happened was my gym schedule had changed, and I was getting there really early, like 4:30 is when they opened. So, and as I did that, I'd be like, yeah, I just get those fish, caught those sharks. We'll take them. We'll do something with them. Uh, so they keep getting the sharks and all that. And what happens? Trump realizes it's not a problem. Trump realizes that he made a problem out of nothing. Uh, I said, I can only hope that, in the name of judicial economy, that something's done. And I haven't given a shout out in a long time to Newport Beach Police Department, but I think I will this time because not only, Uncle Bob was, the last in the Zucker clan, and he always gave Uncle Bob a little room because he was such a good guy, and always did the right thing. And sometimes he would do the right thing. He would do it anonymously just to make sure that he did not get credit for this. It's funny. In some ways, giving money away says a lot about you, but it could also say, it could say something good or bad, depending on how the proceeds were acquired. If you get my drift, I'm sure you do. So there's a little more to talk about than me. Oh, so the Iowa pension chief gets fired for cooking the books, making them look all too good. And it almost makes me wonder about California. I mean, I think we're underfunded by like $7 billion, some astronomical figure. Um, but when you have an immigrant nation like we do, and don't forget, technically in the United States, there were only three kinds of people. There were the colonials, there were the Native Americans, and then there were more Europeans. And everybody thinks, that they, it's kind of like the gangplank theory of economics. And you may ask, what is the gangplank theory of economics? Well, the gangplank theory of economics says, oh, I've got yours. I mean, I've got mine. Let me pull out the board so you can't get on and you won't get yours. Happy trails. So you can see where that, that's almost lawlessness. Whenever the bad guys are in charge, you have to wonder. I mean, I'm personally not crazy about this. I mean, if I have more than a beer, it's really a big deal. And it was just so funny that that would show up on my birthday. I'm like, no, not you again. Which is a shame because Debbie Down is such a smart, warm woman that you hate to hear about, or you wonder if there's anything you can do to make life better. And clearly, no, but I do think we have a good enough jumping off point to explore a lot of this. And this was a great editorial. Again, from the Financial Times. And it was Trump arrives or Trump meets Xi without his superpower. Now, I thought his superpower was lying. I thought superpower was being aggressive. I didn't think the guy was just like mainstream at all. And I think at this point, we know the only thing Donald Trump might be mainstream about is peeing, but we don't know. But don't tell me. I don't want to know. You got me, Don? Don the Con. Oh, Don and John the Con. Oh, Eric, Eric, John, and John. No, Eric, Don, and Don. Now we'll have to work on some kind of a goofy intro. But you know what else I want to do is run a little rock and roll music by you. And it's called Roll Those Republicans. And it goes like this. You know what? Let's see. Maybe I can get a um, rock and roll. Uh, is that lightning? Sister Rosetta here, the godmother of rock and roll. Sister Rosetta. Will Bradley. Not the Boogie Woogie Cocktail from 1942. Yes, it is the Boogie Woogie Cocktail from 1942. Sister Rosetta, one more time. Don't you love when it's Sister Rosetta? Arthur Crudup. Joe Wiggins, the Honey Dripper. Louis Jordan. Miss Caledonia is your name. Chibagi. Oh, Bill Monroe. Oh, Big Boy Crudup. That's all right. You know that's all right. Back to the original. Down the road piece. Amos Milburn. How about this? Little Jimmy Preston, 1947, Rock the Joint. How about Pete Johnson, little Rocket Boogie? How about Hank Williams, 1947, Move It On Over. Move it on over. Out drinking wine, Spody Odie. That's what you're drinking wine, Spody. All right, guys, you thought we'd do a little kind of a soul thing for a little while, and but now it's time to get back to work. And it is 1:21, and we are here for at least another 40 minutes. So give us a call and say hello and let us know what's on your mind. 949-629-3820. And we would just be happy to chat with you, say hello, and love to hear what's on your mind. Do you have a big gas tank? I have like an 18-gallon gas tank, and at $6.80 a gallon, I can't tell you how much that's, like 135 buckaroos more or less. Like I say, it's just I'm spending close to 150 bucks a week on gas, and the only thing you can say, thanks, Donald. You stupid moron. You know, I'm absolutely convinced the guy's an idiot, but what do I know? What do I know? You would think I would kind of get it, but so anyway, so there's two homeless guys that get in trouble with Starbucks with. One guy, like I said, used to get there at 4:30, just about the same time I did, and he would, and I would have seated like one of the end tables, and keep in mind the whole Starbucks would be empty, 30 tables, empty, nobody. I come in, get a coffee, sit down, and then I said the whole place, and the guy sits next to me, and I'm like, pal, that really is creepy. You got the whole place here. Why don't you sit next to me? And so finally, I had to call the baristas over, like, guys, would you do something with this? I mean, tell them, you just can't. It's like socially unacceptable to do this. So eventually, she does it, and things are resolved. And then yesterday, some homeless guy leaves his phone in Starbucks and goes outside or wherever. And it's like where I usually sit, and you can't. The plugs at Starbucks are for like the people that are sitting there. Yeah, he's more than welcome to leftovers, but the rules are that the productive people need them more, and I just think that's fair. People don't have to be productive; they don't have to build stuff, but they really shouldn't get in the way. And Trump just can't help himself; he's always in the way, always. And while we're thinking of this, how about if we try them old, how if we try that old squeeze one more time and play a song that I can only imagine what it means. In quintessence, in quintessence, in quintessence, in quintessence, in quintessence, quintessence. In quintessence, in quintessence, in quintessence. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, just when you think it can't get any better, he plays a little Squeeze. And Squeeze was a really, really, really great band. It took them so long to get signed, but when they did get signed, they weren't the best. And Difford and Tilbrook just kind of called it a day. I mean, they still work together and write together, and they still play some of the old songs, but just a little different. Paul Carrick came over, took over for Jules Holland, which meant that all the wild, spontaneous stuff was just gone because that wasn't what Paul Carrick did. But anyway, I just thought I'd bring up a little Squeeze with Quintessence because, like, I mean, if there's ever a band that people like, I would think it kind of had to be Squeeze. Oh, and how much? Punk rock girl, punk rock girl, and me, punk rock girl. It's you and me, punk rock girl. Guys, that was a little punk rock girl from the Dead Milkman. As I was kind of looking for a song to follow Squeeze with, what came up, but lo and behold, punk rock girl. And but how about if we kind of slow it up a little bit, huh? Ooh, there's a man in the funny papers we all know. Oop, 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 oop. And time we go, how is oop, 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 oop. Yeah, it's through alley-oop, oop, 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 alley-oop, alley-oop, oop, 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 dinosaur, alley-oop, oop, 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 alley-oop, oop, 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 alley-oop, oop, 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 alley-oop, oop. Oh my God, you jungle, my keys and go, alley, alley, oop, 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 alley, oop, 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 alley, oop, 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 alley, oop, 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 oop. Look at that cape and go, alley, oop, oop, alley, oop, 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 oop. Ladies and gentlemen, can you believe this? It is closing in on it's just past 1:30. We'll be here another 30 minutes or so for you. And let's see, give us a call 949-629-3820 and plug your favorite Democratic candidate. Call in and tell us how good he or she is. Tell us why you want to see him or her elected. I'm pretty shallow. I just want a Democrat out there, but most of these candidates I chat with, they have a real vision for their constituency and the area that's unique to them. And I want to mention something real quick. In the law they talk about jurisdiction, and jurisdiction refers to whether the court has the power, has the authority to hear a specific case. And it's an interesting thing because when you break jurisdiction down to its Latin components, juris is mean law, right? And juris means law, and diction means speak. So you literally talk about the area in which the court can speak. Um, there's not there are usually consistencies in this thing, but Donald Trump has so screwed everything up. There are no bases for comparison. Why? Because he fired all the decent people. It really is about time that old Don the Con be shown the door, and about time he also heard the clink of the cell bars. I think that might just get his attention. I'm sure he would cry like a baby. But how much would you pay to see that? I think I'm good for at least $100. I mean, to see Trump get arrested and do the perf walk. Yeah, I would say that's one of those grand slam hits, or whatever those guys call it. Sorry about that. I've been a little title under the weather lately, but you know what? That's kind of what we. I don't know. I want this thing to charge. Why doesn't that charge it? Hang on, guys. Oh, I know what we'll do. Sorry about that, guys. I have like no idea. Oh, you guys, finally. I want this thing to charge. Alright, that could just do it. Sorry, guys, we had to make sure we're all plugged in and charging. And would you believe that? Let's see here. This thing is charging at 54. Well, we'll just see what we can get done while we're here. I kind of let that thing get unplugged and didn't really check on it. And I just kind of assumed the battery was charging, but it wasn't. So what do we do? Well, I think we did about as good a job as we could have done salvaging that thing. Let's see, still no update in the old StreamYard. That's fine. We'll leave that there. And a little later, we'll see what we can do about some of these inbox kind of items. Wish I would do today, but they don't do it like that. Let's see. Let's go ahead and quit mail. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all the ships at sea, we are closing in on 18 minutes until 2 o'clock. And like I said, give us a call, 949-629-3820. Let us know what's going on. Kind of what sucks and what's going well. And if you have anything if everything's kind of going well, then when you go to that democracyradionetwork.com homepage, you will see two things. The first thing at the top you'll see is a PayPal donate button. And I'm not going to ask you to smash the button or hit the button or anything. What I'm going to ask you to do is smash the 11 daylights out of that donate button and make a healthy donation so old Uncle Ab can get his car worked on. Those small certificates and registrations don't come cheap anymore. So that's a little plea from old Abby Kaufman, just in case you were wondering. But that's the deal. Okay, so now, guys, just tell me what you think about Trump and Xi. Do you think that Trump's in any shape, mentally or physically, to handle Xi? Well, I can tell you this much: I don't think so. Homie, don't play that. I think he's significantly in over his orange tinged head with bad choices, all because he didn't listen or couldn't listen and wouldn't restrain himself. He kept saying the only thing that holds him back is his own morality. And then he tweets that, oh, by the way, we're going to end the civilization in Iran tonight. I mean, you just certain people you can't trust. And let's assume, Iran says you can trust us with a nuke. Well, can you? Can we? And if so, for how long? We might trust them for a day or a week or a month, but we ain't trust them a whole lot longer than that. And what happens after like 20 years or so when people just kind of take for granted what's going on? How bad would that be? I'm so hoping that the next year or two, as the elections are so favorable that they really do put Democrats in the most favorable light. And I say, compared to those guys, I cannot imagine why anybody wouldn't vote for any alternative. But apparently, I'm just a little thick to understand how and why Trump's people can stick with him lie after lie after lie, day after day after day. I honestly don't get it. And by the way, those Epstein files. Yeah, I bet you hadn't heard about that in a few days, have you? Well, I mean, the harder these guys try to bury it, not get there, the more conspicuous they are. It's like the records are conspicuous by their absence. So let's be optimistic and hope somebody will get a copy of their records. And then maybe, just maybe, we can see the lights out of him. After explaining that, it might not be a bad idea to go through this procedure because it will hurt me so much that I will kill you. So just don't do this. If it hurts, don't do it. Okay? Just my little rule. And I hope we can live with it when it's dealing with my little body. And what else? Gosh, what is this? 145-ish, and I don't know what to say. Let's just see if there's anything. Did I tell you this? In Iowa, I forgot this is Iowa, Indiana. But anyway, Republicans were registered Republicans exceeded registered Democrats by 200,000. Let me get that straight again. 200,000 registration differential between Republicans and Democrats. So wouldn't you think that the Republicans would hold an overwhelming edge since there's 200,000 more of them? And the answer is no. You just know you can't do it like that. I see this. It's going to be super interesting to me what Trump looks like on the way back, because he's not going to be able to claim tariff victory or military victory and economic victory. He's just I think the expression is something like SOL, and it's not like so long or anything. That's something just a little different. And if you want to be different, give us a call, 949-629-3820. And of course, we're always dying to hear what you have to say. I see. I'm just trying to let the old laptop charge for a few more minutes towards the end. And I want to do a little song thing about recording, and it's really simple. And it goes like this: Roll those Republicans, roll those Republicans, roll those Republicans. Yeah, we gotta roll those Republicans, roll those Republicans all night long. You gotta roll those Republicans, and just repeat, so on and so forth. I kind of like that. It's kind of simple, kind of catchy, and it's just not enough to make me go all the way up to last me all the way up to Walmart to get my Thai food. I do really miss that place. I wish it was a little closer, but it's a little cheaper too. Actually, the lunch specials are okay, but you know what happens when you get into the a la carte stuff, and anyway, price kind of tends to go up in those circumstances. And let's see, we checked. We don't have any males there, and we might have some males there. God only knows. Let's see here. That's us closing in on 150. So let's see what we got here at 10 minutes to 2. Oh, I had wanted to do this radio show called Doppelganger, and it would be two versions of the same song, one by the original artist and one by one cover. And I never really got to get that off the ground, but things are looking pretty favorable to have a show called Doppelganger. Don't you think so? Just kind of curious. And you know what? We also need to see about some old Orange County kind of contacts. So like I said, give us a call, ladies and gentlemen, 949-629-3820. And don't hit, don't smash, don't do any of that gentle stuff. What I want you to do is smash the living daylights out of the thing and make a decent contribution so Al can get his car registered and smogged and all that. We all know that the success of the democracyradionetwork.com is just about self-evident. Politicians love having a place to call, and we enjoy being a platform for the Democratic Party. We don't really care what the position is. I tell people, not only do I want a Democrat to hold the elected position of dog catcher, but I want them to hold the unofficial. I want the assistant to the dog catcher to be a Democrat, And not only do I want the dog catcher and the assistant to the dog catcher to be Democrats, you know, I want everybody to be a Democrat for this one. Let's really turn out any landslide victory. And the big deal about this is even when he goes, and even when he's out of power, you can't stop the lies. I mean, when I think about what they was maliciously called the Biden crime family, and then I see what Trump's family is doing, I'm like, you guys are worthless. It's wrong when anybody does that, not just you, but it's always appeared to me as though Trump kind of didn't really know what he was talking about, and I know that kind of shocks you, but the rest of the world laughs at him and has been laughing at him. And what's he do? Pretends it's not there. Well, it's kind of like a rattlesnake. I might not like it, but I'm not going to pretend it's not there. I kind of want to know where it is so I can deal with the risk factor. And as much as I digress with that, that really is a big deal. I mean, we've got to start running things on time. How many ships do we have stacked up in the Strait of Hormuz? And, it's not like there were a lot of people for those jobs back then. I mean, I remember the merchant marine and the cargo guys coming into the port of Charleston. And it was like international longshoremen, stevedores, teamsters. I mean, these guys were rough. So I don't think anybody wants to go back to the bad old days before aspirin and penicillin. But as far as the MAGA base, you always have to you got to question. And the big deal in life is to always question the source. Make sure you're not being lied to. Let people know you're a little too bright to do that, to try that. Time's are wasting and we got work to do. So I really hope we can get on with it at our earliest convenience. Now let's see what else. Oh, I do have half a sandwich. That's that's actually what I could do is I could check out in a little bit, go have a decent, I go finish my half a sandwich, and then see if the stuff is charged enough. Yeah, I think that might be exactly what we'll do. Is we'll sign off at around 2:00. It's 1:55 now on the Abby Kaufman Show, and give us a call 949-629-3820, and let us know what's going on in your world, or if you just want to vent, let's hear it. Because God knows we got a lot to vent about these days. From the second stupidest guy after Trump, just might be who's that guy? Anyway, he would wear something patriotic. And I was wondering, just out of curiosity, I've never worn a Speedo in my life, but is there some way I could have like Speedo American flag and have my penis be like the pole that holds the flag? Yeah, I don't care how big or small it is. Can we do it? Oh, in that case, let's get on and rig it up now. We'll be on the net tomorrow. That's just the perfect TikTok thing, isn't it? Yeah. So, guys, I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and call it a day, and we're going to end the stream, and then we're going to go finish a little something to eat, and then we'll get back to work. So in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all the ships at sea, thanks a million for tuning in. I am your somewhat semi-savvy politically host, Abby Kaufman, and I invite you to join us every weekday from about 12 until my voice gives out, which is usually about now. And let's see what we can do about electing some Democrats. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I can't thank you enough for everything. You you always tune in, and I'm always grateful. And come back tomorrow, and it will be the same bat time, same bat channel. But you know what those really cool military people used to say, don't you? They would say something like, Roger Wilco over and out. It's a